Rennyo SHŌNIN OFUMI, Fascicle 1, Number 4, Some Questions and Answers. Question. I am told that Master Shinran's tradition speaks of, quote, completing the cause of birth in the Pure Land in ordinary life, and does not adhere to, quote, Amita's coming to meet us at the moment of death. What does this mean? I do not know anything about, quote, completing the cause of birth in ordinary life, or about the significance of, quote, not waiting for Amita to come meet us at the moment of death. I would like to hear about this in detail. Answer. Indeed, I consider these questions to be of the utmost importance for our tradition. From the beginning, this school has taught that, quote, with the awakening of the one thought moment of faith, the cause of birth is completed in ordinary life. After we have understood that it is through the unfolding of past good that we hear and realize in the midst of ordinary life that Amita Tathagata's primal vow saves us, we understand that it is not by our own power, but through the gift of other power, the wisdom of the Buddha, that we become aware of how Amita's primal vow came to be. This is the meaning of, quote, completing the cause of birth in ordinary life. Thus, completing the cause of birth in ordinary life is a state of mind in which we have heard and fully understood this principle and are convinced that birth is assured. We refer to it as, with the awakening of the one thought moment, joining the company of those whose birth is truly settled. Completing the cause of birth in ordinary life, and immediately attaining birth in the Pure Land and dwelling in a state of non-retrogression. Question. I fully understand the concept of birth in the Pure Land with the awakening of the one thought moment. However, I still do not understand the meaning of, quote, not waiting for Amita to come to meet us at the moment of death. Would you kindly explain this? Answer. As for the matter of not waiting for Amita to come to meet us at the moment of death, when we realize that, quote, with the awakening of the one thought moment, we join the company of those whose birth is truly settled, there is no longer any need to expect Amita's coming. The reason is that waiting for Amita to come to meet us is a matter of concern to those who perform various other practices. For practicers of true and real faith, it is understood that there is no longer a wait for Amita's coming to meet us when we immediately receive, with the awakening of the one thought moment, the benefit of being protected by the light that embraces and never abandons. Therefore, according to the teaching of the Master, Amita's coming to meet us at the moment of death pertains to birth through various other practices. Practicers of true and real faith are embraced and never abandoned, and for this reason they join the company of those whose birth is truly settled. Because they join those who are truly settled, they will attain nirvana without fail. Hence, there is no waiting for the moment of death, and no reliance on Amita's coming to meet us at that time. We should bear these words in mind. Question. Should we understand the state of being truly settled and that of nirvana as one benefit, or as two? Answer. The dimension of the awakening of the one thought moment is that of joining the company of those truly settled. This is the benefit we gain in the defiled world. Next, it should be understood that nirvana is the benefit to be gained in the Pure Land. Hence, we should think of them as two benefits. Question. Knowing that birth is assured when we have understood as you have explained, how should we understand being told that we must go to the trouble of acquiring faith? I would like to hear about this too. Answer. This inquiry is indeed of great importance. That is, the very understanding that conforms to what has been explained above is precisely what we mean by decisively settled faith. Question. I clearly understand that the state in which faith is decisively settled is described as, quote, completing the cause of birth in ordinary life, not waiting for Amida to come to meet us at the moment of death, and joining the company of those who are truly settled. However, I do not yet understand whether, after faith is decisively settled, we should say the Nenbutsu for the sake of birth in the land of utmost bliss, or in gratitude for Amida Buddha's benevolence. Answer. I consider this question, too, to be of great importance. The point is that we must not think of the Nembutsu said after the awakening of the one thought moment of faith as an act for the sake of birth. It should be understood to be solely in gratitude for the Buddha's benevolence. Therefore, Master Shantou explained it as, quote, spending one's entire life at the upper limit, one thought moment of faith at the lower. It is understood that one thought moment at the lower refers to the settling of faith, and spending one's entire life at the upper limit refers to the Nenbutsu said in gratitude in return for the Buddha's benevolence. These are things that should be very thoroughly understood. Respectfully, 1472.